Power equations. Power equations are equations written in this form, where it's just your base to a power equals a constant. Earlier in this chapter, we did x squared equals k. We solved those. Well, those as a power function also, just predict a power function when power is 2. Now we're going to do all of them in general. Now there's two different ways. I mean, we do the same way, but there's two different ideas here. What if the power is an even power? Why does that matter? Because if it's an even power, you can't take a square root of a negative number. So it's just like we did the x squared. So you go, okay, if my k is positive, I get 2 solutions. If my k is 0, I get 1 solution, but it's like a double or triple root. And if it's negative, you can't take a even root of a negative number. So there's no real solutions. Now when the power is odd, that's not a problem. You can take the odd roots of negative and positive numbers the same way. So the answer is just this. So if it's an odd power function, you just solve it the same way every single time. So let's do a couple of these. So x cubed equals negative 27. All I'm going to do is, so it's x cubed, so we're going to take the cubed root of both sides. All these cancel out. You get x equals the cube root of negative 27, which is negative 3. Remember, odd roots, just take the cube root of it and keep the sign. X to the 4th, so this one you have to watch out a little bit more, but subtract 5 from both sides. So you want to isolate the power function. And then we're just going to take the 4th root of both sides. I have no idea what that is. That's some decimal, but we're just going to leave it like that. X equals the 4th root of 10. Or if you want, you could write as 10 to the 1/4 power. These are equivalent things. Next one, just like we talked about before, it's the same idea. You have one x, you just got to get the x by itself. The first step in doing that is taking the 5th root of both sides. Or the 1/5 power of both sides, if you want to think about it that way. So I get x minus 2 here, because these cancel out, equals 5th root of 11. And then you just add 2. Notice it wasn't a plus or minus, because again, you're doing an odd root. So odd root is no plus or minus. You could do an odd root the normal way. And then you just add over the 2. It's a positive because this is a positive sign, so that's why it's a plus. And also keep in mind, 5th root, or any root, it's the same thing as saying that 1 power, the reciprocal power. So like here you can also just do this. 1 to the 5th, 1 to the 5th. These would cancel, you get x minus 2 equals 11 to the 1/5 power. These two things are equivalent. Okay, how about this one? Well, same thing. Oh, it's a negative 1/5. So before I do anything, I would probably flip this a bit like that, because you don't really want to do anything with negative powers. Remember, that's all a negative power does. All a negative exponent does is flip it. Now this, do the same on both sides. I'll take the 5th root of both sides. I get 1 over x equals, actually before I do that, I don't want to go too far back. I just realized I'm going to have to solve it anyway, so why not just solve it here? Like that. I'm going to try to remove x, so I'm going to get x by itself, or like not in a fraction form, right? So I guess you could cross multiply if you want to think about it that way. So negative x to the 5th equals 32. So divide by the negative, so I get this. And now I'll take the 5th root of both sides. There's probably a cleaner way of doing this. I'll just try and go top of my head. And then x equals, now again, you could take the odd root of a negative number, you just get the negative version of it. And the 5th root of 32 should be 2. So this is negative 2. So that's my answer. So like that. Next one, x to the negative 4 power is 256. So again, I would move that to the bottom because you can have a negative power. 256 over 1. And then just do some math. You can cross multiply both sides by x to the 4th, whatever you want to do, it's all the same. 1 equals 256, x to the 4th, divided by 256. So I get 1 over 256 equals x to the 4th. Right, and then how do I solve it? You take the 4th root of that. And you get, I believe that's 4, 1 over 4 equals x. There we go.